Welcome to One-on-One. I'm Rick Kaplan, and my guest today is Marianne Sullivan of Sullivan Sullivan Auctioneers. Good morning, Marianne.
Good morning, Rick.
So tell me a little bit about Sullivan Sullivan Auctioneers.
Sure. Sullivan Sullivan Auctioneers, we are a commercial auctioneering firm, and we specialize in foreclosures of residential and commercial properties, and also municipalities. We work with municipalities on tax possession auctions that we hold for cities and towns for non-payment of real estate taxes. We have been in business since 2007, and we schedule over 150 auctions per month. And right now, we don't have anything, obviously, on our calendar due to the pandemic. So once we get through the health crisis,
I can understand
I'm sure
that.
we'll get there.
And Marianne, you are the president of the company.
I am.
All right. And so, you say there's nothing going on right now. Do you anticipate this opening up soon, or is it going to be a gradual thing for doing some of these auctions?
I think it's going to be gradual. There's a moratorium, obviously, in Massachusetts, so things will start to open up gradually through the summer. And with municipalities, we've already been getting some phone calls where cities and towns are ready to go. That's instant revenue they can generate with properties that have been sitting vacant that can generate needed money now for these cities and towns.
Now, were you prepared to deal with something like this?
Well, we actually were. We hold 2 service agreements with some large vendors that require us to have a contingency plan for disasters. So we actually had something documented where in the event their business stopped, there was a problem, we had a disaster plan in place. So lo and behold, who would have known that we needed to use it so quickly? However, so it was documented and we were ready to go. However, this is all new to everybody, of course. So we're all doing the best that we can, and I think we all have a common goal. Safety is first, and the economy will follow.
It surprises me every time I speak with someone about how some people had some kind of a plan in place, and some people adapted very quickly and are still doing business. And obviously things probably slowed for a lot of us, but it's impressive how we could re-gauge our whole business to deal with this in such a short amount of time.
Right. Well,
that's
options did we have, right? We had to. We all showed our true colors when the economy and the country shut down, and we had to rely on the teams of people and the vendors that we've been using for years to all come together as a team and handle clients immediately, and all of the problems that came to the surface because of the economy shutting down, and all of the auctions that had to be canceled and rescheduled and billed and documented. So now we're using our time and looking forward to more of a chance to roll out this, different technologies that we have into place that you'll see very soon.
Now, what would you suggest to a person like myself who has never been to an auction, but I'm interested in going to an auction and maybe purchasing a property? Because I've gotten mixed messages from people that, it's very difficult, and you got to know what you're doing, or you're gonna fall flat in your face.
Yes, well, education is obviously the first thing that you need. You need to know what you're doing, how to buy, and what you're up against. Most of the time, investors are our buyers at the auctions. However, you also get end users, people that are interested in purchasing a commercial property. Maybe it's next door to the one that they own, or they know someone, or they're looking for an investment. But really, education is everything. And the first step would be get on the mailing list. Get on as many mailing lists as you can with all of the companies, and then you're notified as to when the auctions take place. And there are also areas of the website that will keep you informed, so you're not wasting time running to many different auctions that are, one might be canceled, one might be postponed. You really never know. So it is a little bit of a rat race. So, but you know, the investors that are seasoned have been doing it a really long time.
So when you say email list, you mean go to get on your email list or an auctioneer's email list?
Yes, that is the best way. Email lists, and also following the trade newspapers, obviously, like yours, and all of the other trade newspapers, and the news feeds. News feeds are big. Our email and our news feeds are blowing up right now with everybody's suggestions as to how best to deal with this pandemic and continue trying to open this country up and our state.
Now, I know the government has pushed off foreclosures for the time being, but that will end at some point, I'm sure. So once that opens up, I'm sure there'll be, you know, tons of these foreclosures that are going to come up. How are you going to deal with that? I mean, you already have auctions that you postpone. And then you're going to have this an abundance of foreclosures that are coming through, because we're sure that it's going to be some, and quite a few. Right.
Well, the team in place that we have has been in place and working with me for over 10 years. So we have handled over 150 auctions per month, scheduling auctioneers, scheduling agents, handling the newspaper advertising, the social media, and all the other advertising elements that go with it. But on site, we're going to be conducting auctions in a completely different way. We're still waiting for some of the guidelines from the state and their best practices that they want us to ensure that we are complying with, where I'm sure it will be social distance, which we are okay. We're ready to go back to work. We are ready to adapt to the new temporary norm and conduct auctions on site like we have been for years. And the documentation, that's something that we're still trying to determine what the best way to execute documents when we sell a property to a third party. And we're usually doing that at the auctioneer's car or on a tailgate of a truck near a property, whether it be residential or commercial. And when we sell a property to a buyer, we usually invite them into our little outside office and we sign a purchase and sale agreement and we tender the deposit. So we're trying to figure out all of those things, what people are going to be comfortable with. Right now, we're working on a survey to actually ask our investors and our subscribers and people that attend our auctions, are you comfortable with going to an auction? Are you comfortable signing a purchase and sale agreement if you're wearing a pair of gloves and if you have a mask? We also need to make sure that we can provide for people that don't want to do those things, because that, you know, there are people that are at higher risk. So, you know, we're sensitive to that, and safety for our people and for the buyers and investors and anyone that attends an auction is paramount to us.
Do you think they'd ever go to something like this, like a virtual type of auction?
For foreclosures in Massachusetts, no. No, I don't see that happening. Or for New Hampshire and Rhode Island. But municipalities, yes. Cities and towns, they're not under any umbrella that they can't be on, they don't have to be on site. So we have all kinds of different options for municipalities to hold auctions in the very near future. We're going to give them a few options, whether it be under a tent outside with social distancing in place, whether it be online, whether it be in a larger venue. and we can put into place best practices after our governor gives us a little bit more to work with.
You know, when I picture an auctioneer, I don't picture someone that looks like you. And I also picture someone that has that, you know, real fast talking, you know. Do you do that when you're at the auctions? You know?
No.
No.
We like to say we think fast. We don't talk fast. We're selling cattle, we're selling real estate, and we want to make sure that anybody that attends an auctions understands what they're buying.
Perfect.
So, yeah, we like to think we think fast.
I'm going to come to one of your auctions.
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, you sound very optimistic. We still have a future, you're saying, which is good.
Yes.
And we're going to make it through this.
We absolutely are. We are the land of the free and the home of the brave. And thank goodness for our first responders and our frontline workers, because they are dedicated and they're giving us the courage by just looking at what they're doing to move forward. I think it's going to be a better place, and it's going to be nicer. I think people are already nicer, honestly. That's the silver lining here.
I hope so. That sounds great. We're going to have a new world.
We absolutely are.
Marianne, I appreciate you doing this morning. This is Marianne Sullivan from Sullivan Sullivan Auctioneers. Marianne, please stay safe and have a pleasant afternoon.
Thank you very much. And make sure you sign up for our email list.
I'm definitely gonna.
And we'll see you at one of the auctions.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you for watching today's interview. If you'd like to be a guest, a sponsor, or even advertise in the New England Real Estate Journal, you'll find our contact information in the description box below. You can also find all our social media platforms so you can follow us, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel.